Happy Hump Day, Oklahoma. Yeah, this weekend, OU Texas, ready for that. And we got a lot to cover today. We had a crazy show yesterday, and we've got a lot to cover today. Coming up later in the show, Luke Harshaw, who's the executive director of the Oklahoma Federation of College Republicans. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with a story that I have set for last, but it's big-time breaking news. This going on in Tulsa County. Now, Tulsa County is a very conservative county. And at the Tulsa State Fair, they are selling bricks. And it's at the Tulsa State Fair, and it is in support of President Trump and building the wall. Now, the demon rats, the libturds, the socialists, they if they don't like something, they always call it bigoted, racist, discriminatory. But they don't talk about the fact that people that come across our borders every day illegally are breaking our laws. They don't really care about the law unless it benefits them. And so, I believe the wall is up. The Tulsa State Fair was trying to take it down. I believe it's back up and you can get a brick. And I would suggest you get a bunch of bricks and send them to the president. And let the president know that in Oklahoma we've got some common sense and we support him. Let's do it. Frosty, can you get the door, please? They're getting kind of loud in the back there, and we don't want to ruin their fun. Okay, so Brett Kavanaugh. We're getting really close to the confirmation. The FBI investigation, we talked about that last week. This is not a federal crime, or if there was a crime, and there wasn't, it does not fall under federal jurisdiction, and all we're going to get, or they've already maybe received them at the White House, are the packet, the reports, what do they call it, a binder? Yeah, whatever. But they questioned Dr. Ford and they questioned Judge Kavanaugh. They will send the report to the White House, and the White House will go ahead and move for Brett Kavanaugh to go to the floor for a vote. Now, where do people stand? There are some predictions that say Brett Kavanaugh will be confirmed like 53 to 47. I'm not that optimistic. I would say 51-49, maybe 52-48, because I don't have a lot of confidence in Jeff Flake, the fluke from Arizona. And I'm not really sure where some of the Democrats are coming in from the red states. I know Claire McCaskill has said she will not support Brett Kavanaugh. Her numbers are going in the toilet. She might want to rethink that between now and November 6th. And I believe Joe Manchin, who is running for re-election in West Virginia, in which President Trump carried by 40 points, I think he's got enough brain activity to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to support Judge Kavanaugh. As for Tester and Donnelly, they say they are not going to support Kavanaugh. That could be to their detriment. Man, it's coming up. November 6th is just around the corner. And now we've got the moment of truth. This reminds me of the Clarence Thomas hearings, except on steroids. I believe Judge Kavanaugh was treated worse than Clarence Thomas was, if that's possible. It's interesting to me, though, if Clarence Thomas had been a Democrat and Republicans had been questioning him and bringing an Anita Hill to a hearing, oh, it would have been awful. He would have been guilty. He would have been, no. But so you see, Clarence Thomas was a conservative African-American, and we can't have that in the Demon Rat Party. Oh, no. That's a no-no. We can't do that. We can't have free-thinking people, you see. They need to fall under and be told what the Democrats want them to do and when they want them to do it and how they want them to do it. So DNCBS spent over 3 minutes questioning that lovely Chelsea Clinton. And they just talked to her about Brett Kavanaugh. They didn't mention her rapist father, Billy Bob Blowjob Clinton, who raped Juanita Broderick and molested scores of women. They didn't mention any of that. Oh, no, of course not. Because you see, Billy Bob Blowjob Clinton is a Democrat. And Chelsea is further to the left than her daddy. You know, Bill is not nearly the leftist that Hillary and Chelsea are. But they talked to Chelsea for 3 minutes about Brett Kavanaugh, never one time mentioning her father and his escapades or sexcapades. You saw Juanita Broaddrick in the media last week. Juanita has become a friend of Brooks and mine. I was talking earlier, I want to either for us to get Juanita here, or I'll go out to Arkansas and do a live broadcast. Frosty and I'll take a little road trip to Arkansas and we'll interview Juanita in her home. But I believe Juanita Broaddrick deserves to be heard. Now, the very people that are crucifying Brett Kavanaugh right now, Frankenfeinstein, Schumer, and little Dickie Durbin, they were all there when Bill Clinton, the allegations that he raped Juanita Broaddrick came out, but they weren't interested in hearing about that. But now, all of a sudden, years and years and years later, they're concerned about the possibility that somebody may have groped somebody or grinded with somebody back in high school. Oh, wow. So why was Chelsea Clinton on DNCBS? Why are people even interested in what the Clintons have to say? Her mother was defeated, her father is a pervert, and she is pro-killing babies. Chelsea Clinton is disgusting. Disgusting. She may even turn out to be more leftist than her mother. And I've told you on the radio, and I'm telling you now, Webb Hubbell is Chelsea Clinton's father. Billy Bob Blowjob, he had the mumps back when he was a kid, and he can't have children. Now, don't you find that interesting? Now, that came out when this young African-American boy was calling Bill daddy and demanding that Hillary bring this up during the campaign. He says that Bill Clinton had an affair with his mother. But you see, I had the mumps. I couldn't have fathered a child. We're going to get Juanita Broaddrick in, and we're going to talk to Juanita, and we're going to get her side of the story because you deserve to hear it, and Juanita deserves her day. President Trump voters are extremely angry over the treatment of Brett Kavanaugh. In fact, the president said voters are really angry at the vicious and despicable way that Democrats are treating Brett Kavanaugh. Not only are Trump voters upset about Brett Kavanaugh, but we've also got Democrats who are kind of middle-of-the-road centrist who are upset about the way Brett Kavanaugh has been treated. Some of those are what we used to call Reagan Democrats, now Trump Democrats, who supported the president in 2016, or those who have switched their allegiance to the president with the great economy and the record stock markets and all the great things that are happening in America right now. Speaking of President Trump, Sunday he's going to meet with Kim Jong-un. And the Democrats are wondering, why are you meeting with Kim Jong-un? Well, because Kim Jong-un wants a meeting. We were this close to war with North Korea. If Chelsea Clinton's mama had been elected president, we probably would be at war right now. Donald Trump didn't pay a dime.
Oh, Barack Obama, Bathhouse Bear. Call me Mr. Flintstone. I can make your bed rock. My nickname's Bathhouse Bear. Got down with a man named Larry.
He paid $1.8 billion with a B dollars billion to get some hostages. Donald Trump didn't pay a dime, not a penny, to get hostages released from North Korea. He also didn't pay a penny to get bodies returned that have been there since the Korean War. Are you Democrats waking up yet? Do you see what's happening to your country? Are you starting to understand that the Democrats do not want America to succeed? They want themselves to succeed. Because you see, if they succeed, then they have power over you. And that's exactly what they want. They want power over you. They want to tell you where to go to the doctor, how to go to the doctor, what doctor you can and can't go to. They want you under their thumb. They want you on the plantation. But you see, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, millennials, teenagers, they're all back to work now, thanks to President Trump. So people are starting to realize that the Democrats have been lying all this time. And I have to give a lot of credit to younger Americans because they're starting to catch it. They're starting to understand it. Even those who supported Bernie Sanders understand the corruption that is within the Democratic Party with their superdelegates. You see, Hillary couldn't have won the nomination without superdelegates. That would have gone to Bernie. Donald Trump beat 17 great candidates. Or maybe he was the 17th, it may have been 16, whatever. Donald Trump defeated some of the best stars in the Republican Party without superdelegates. Hillary Clinton couldn't beat one without superdelegates. What does that tell you? It tells me that they are the Clinton crime family that they've always been portrayed, that they are liars, that they are thieves, that they will do anything and everything to get power and to retain power and to steal money and to become rich. So, now we're going to talk about state races. And in a few minutes, we're going to bring Luke in. But the Democrats are putting a lot of money into races, especially in the 5th District, in congressional races here in the state of Oklahoma. President Trump has endorsed Kevin Stitt for governor. There is an ad that's running right now that says that Kevin Stitt said Mary Fallon was great or whatever it was. I want a fact check on that. I'd like to see some fact checks on some of these ads. What Drew Edmondson looks like is an Oompa Loompa 80-year-old man who wants to revive his political career. Raise your taxes. Raise your taxes. Did you hear me? He wants to raise your taxes. To say that Republicans are against education is a big, fat lie. What Republicans were against is raising taxes when we had money and to put a burden on the rest of us in Oklahoma. Republicans had a solution, and that was not to raise taxes. So when you see these commercials of Mr. Edmondson, senior citizen, when you see him lying and his ads that show Kevin Stitt being anti-education, it's nothing but a lie. Kevin Stitt has children. He has a beautiful family. And there's no question that education is important in the Stitt household. And so therefore, I'm sick of these negative ads. Sick of them. Now, to be fair, some of these ads that come out are not endorsed or paid for by a candidate or their campaign. They are PAC ads from political action committees. We've got some dark PACs here in Oklahoma, and as I've said, I promise to expose them, who runs them, who's on the board of directors for them. That's all coming. But here's the congressional race and how it shakes out right now. We know that the governor's race is within the margin of error, which I think is good for Kevin Stitt because President Trump has such high approval ratings in our state, and he is behind Kevin Stitt. We've got Frank Lucas, who's going to live in Congress as long as he wants to. We've got Tom Cole, who's going to live in Congress for as long as he wants to. But Kendra Horn, the Democrats are spending a lot of money on that 5th District race. And so let's take a look at the polling. Is it working? Well, somewhat. In a very, very red district, Steve Russell is beating her by 10 points. Not much of a chance for Kendra Horn. I predict Steve Russell will be reelected to Congress. He's done a great job. There's no reason not to have him in Congress. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about Pocahontas. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. In fact, we've got a Democratic candidate, former candidate, that had a relationship with one of Brett Kavanaugh's accusers, and he says he doesn't believe a word she says. But Luke Harshaw is coming up after this break. This is The Todd Tucker Show.
Do you have problems with pain, anxiety, or sleeplessness? Come see us at Can Help Wellness, where we can help. Stop by any of our 4 wellness centers to find out how premium CBD products can help you find relief. From balms to tinctures to even products for your pets. Natural, safe, organic relief and lab tested with certifications. Reach out to one of our wellness consultants today at 405-455-3012 or online at cann-help.com.
Welcome back. Luke Harshaw's with me. Luke, tell them who you are and what you do.
My name is Luke Harshaw. I'm a student at UCO here in Edmond, and I'm the executive director at the Oklahoma Federation of College Republicans, where we're organizing the next generation of conservative leaders in Oklahoma.
Okay, Luke, you know, there's this myth out there that says college students are all Democrats and all liberals. And I maintain they're wrong. Get up a little closer to the mic if you would. Because not everybody has a loud mouth like I do.
You don't yell like he does.
Yeah. So Luke, tell me, what's it like to be on a college campus in 2018? What's the mood? Have you met people on campus that may not have voted for Trump in 2016, but they're like, wow, this guy's amazing. I'm going to vote for him in 2020.
Yeah, well, let me say that the fact that they try to say that all college students are liberal, it's just false. It's not a fact at all. And the actual fact of the matter is that most college students don't care. The liberals are the ones that are louder because they feel that college is their safe space. And they feel that they get the approval of the administration, that they get the approval of their liberal professors. And because most of the administration and the professors are liberal on a lot of public school campuses, the liberal students typically are louder. But that's why groups like College Republicans, groups like Young Americans for Liberty that are fighting for conservative values on our campuses are so important, because there are a lot of students that are conservative, but they don't feel that they have the voice on their campus to express those beliefs. They don't think that they have the representation in the administration. And so having these groups on campus is a really good way of showing that you can get involved even if you're conservative. You can get involved in public discourse even if you're a young person. You don't have to be liberal to be a college student.
Have you been hassled because you're conservative?
Oh, yeah.
What's that like? Give me an instance.
Well, whenever you're tabling on campus, like I said, the leftist students are typically louder than anybody else.
Obnoxious, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The people that support you will come and they'll talk to you and they'll shake your hand and say they like what you're doing. But the people that don't like what you're doing, you will never hear the end of it. And
they have no substance. They have no argument.
Right. It's all based on emotion.
Yeah.
It's not based on fact. It's not based on principles or values. It's based on I don't like how this makes me feel. This makes me feel bad. So I'm going to fight it.
Conservatism is based on logic.
Right.
Liberalism is based on emotion. And so when you take a look at people, the reason they're so disgusting and so nasty and so vile and so insulting, but yet they want everybody to be tolerant of them, it's because they have no argument. They have no argument. They have nothing to come back. They don't have facts because they don't pay attention. They're told how to think. And they've got to keep their buddies happy and their professors happy. But I say that conservatives need to speak up, but not be rude and obnoxious like they are. But there has to be a conservative presence on college campuses, and it needs to be very strong and it needs to be very vocal, but not obnoxious.
Absolutely.
So who are you working for? Because I know you've worked on some campaigns. You're a fellow Mike Hunter supporter, who I think has been an amazing attorney general and will do a great job when elected to the position. He's just a great guy and will bring law and order to Oklahoma. He inherited a huge mess from Scott Pruitt, sadly. I don't know what happened to that guy.
Right.
So tell me about the governor's race. Have you been in touch with Kevin? I started to say Governor Stitt. Have you been in touch with Kevin Stitt's campaign? Are you working for him?
Yeah, I'm currently not working on a campaign right now, but I'm a strong supporter of Kevin Stitt. I think he's going to take it all the way to November, win by a pretty wide margin, and I'm trying to help make that happen.
Yeah, Drew Edmondson is tired. He's a has-been, and he is a political insider trying to revive his career, his political career. Kevin Stitt has never been a politician before. Now, I've been critical of everybody that's run for governor. I didn't take any prisoners in this race. So, you know, I know the Stitt people are not really happy with me right now, but when all was said and done, I'm going to back the nominee of our party, and President Trump said vote for Kevin Stitt, and I have enough confidence and faith in the president that he's not going to put his name out there on somebody that he doesn't believe is the best.
Absolutely.
So Matt Pinnell's a friend of mine. I'm all in for Matt. I'm in for Kevin. I'm in for Mike Hunter and Bob Anthony. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I'm just really.
Steve Russell.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a given. I had a great time in May when I went to D.C. because I got to sit with Steve's chief of staff and Gabe, his communications director, and we sat in one of the offices there, and it was kind of like a big time political meeting. I was like, this is straight out of the movies.
Right.
It was pretty awesome. So Luke, how do people? Obviously, you reach more than one campus. So tell me, or let's let our viewers know how they can get involved with your organization and how they can help to bring us to victory not only this November, but 2 years from now as we're looking for the Trump train to go full speed.
Yeah, we have operations going on 9 campuses in Oklahoma. We're constantly looking for new campuses, new leaders on schools that we haven't touched yet, and we're working even not during election cycles. We're constantly doing stuff in the off season, recruiting new conservatives who want to get involved in other ways, not just on campaigns. We host events on our campuses, and probably the best way to get in touch if you want to get involved with one of our chapters or even start your own chapter would be to reach out to us on our Facebook page at Oklahoma Federation of College Republicans. We're pretty responsive, especially if you're looking to get involved with us, we will point you in the right direction and help you out with that.
Awesome. Luke, thanks for being on,
great.
man.
Thanks for
I
having me
appreciate
on.
it.
Absolutely.
We're going to take another quick break. We're back. We've got some video to show you right after this. The Todd Tucker Show Wednesday is on.
Do you have problems with pain, anxiety, or sleeplessness? Come see us at Can Help Wellness, where we can help. Stop by any of our 4 wellness centers to find out how premium CBD products can help you find relief. From balms to tinctures to even products for your pets. Natural, safe, organic relief and lab tested with certifications. Reach out to one of our wellness consultants today at 405-455-3012 or online at cann-help.com.
Sharing is caring. Make sure you share our broadcast from the Oklahoma Taxpayers Unite Facebook page and the Todd Tucker Show Facebook page, and let people know that conservative talk lives here. I see Frosty coming around. I see it happening. So yesterday I had Zachary Anderson on with me, my boy Zach, who just spent a year in prison for a horrific accident. And Zachary was sentenced to 20 years on an 85% crime. I wanted to share this video. Great story yesterday. I was so proud of Zach. He was not coached. I was with him, and I just kind of stood to the side and watched the interview at News 9. The background kind of made it look like he could be in prison still, but he wasn't. We were in a side studio there at News 9. But let's take a look at the video of Zach and his interview on News 9 yesterday with Aaron Brilbeck.
Development here. A young dad who was sentenced to 20 years in prison after leaving his son unattended in a bathtub is a free man tonight. The judge who sentenced him had a change of heart. News 9's Aaron Brilbeck spoke with the young dad today. He joined us from the Oklahoma County Courthouse with a story you'll only see on News 9. Aaron?
Yeah, Kelly, when Zachary was first charged, he was a 19-year-old who admits that he made a bad mistake and he had no criminal history whatsoever. Now he says he's glad that he went to prison, but he's even gladder that he's out.
At this moment, I'm still in shock, that she was able to, actually modify my sentence and actually let me walk out.
Zachary Anderson is still trying to get used to his newfound freedom. In 2014, he was charged with child neglect. He says he was giving his 9-month-old son a bath. The baby was in a child seat. That's when he says his toddler son began screaming, so Anderson left the baby with the water running to check on the toddler.
There's not a day that doesn't go by that I wish I can't change what happened. There's been a lot of, thoughts about what I could have done that day, like, just picking him up out of the bathtub and walking out there to deal with my other kid.
The baby fell forward into the water and lost consciousness.
And then I, immediately picked him up, went around beating on people's doors to, get somebody to call 911 because I didn't have a cell phone at the place.
The baby survived but has severe brain trauma. Police recreated the filling of the bathtub and determined that Anderson left the baby alone in the tub for 17 minutes. Anderson spent a year in prison before he was released yesterday. He says he won't waste the opportunity he's been given. He plans to go to college and work to support his sons, and he says he's grateful for the time he spent in prison.
The fact that I was able to come close to God, just understand what he did for me, I understood that it was a necessary thing. I mean, do I feel like at sometimes I still deserve to be there? Absolutely.
On the scene, on the story at the county courthouse in Oklahoma City, Aaron Brillbeck, News 9.
So very proud of Zach. Extremely proud. In fact, Zach's going to join our crew, Frosty. You're going to train him.
He's going to do my job.
He's going to, well, no, I can't lose you, but we've got to have a backup so you can.
No, he's just going to do my job.
Oh, he's just going to do your job.
Just going to do my job.
All right. But I am so proud of Zach. I can't even. In fact, he's got a phone number now. We've been texting. We don't have any more. You have 60 seconds remaining. It's awesome to be able to speak with Zach without having to pay for the phone call. Anyway, congrats, Zach. You deserve it. And I'm excited. Pocahontas. She says she's going to run for president or is seriously considering it. President Trump has said he would pay $1 million for her to have a DNA test. She was born in Oklahoma City, went to Northwest Classen High School, and then ended up going to the Socialist Republic of Massachusetts, where she lied about her Native American heritage because her grandmother said she has high cheekbones. Pocahontas, one of the most leftist members of the United States Senate, says she'll start seriously considering a run for president after the November 6th election. Please, oh, please run. Oh, please. Oh, please do. Please, Pocahontas, run. A former Democratic candidate claims that he had a relationship with Julie Swetnick. She's one of Judge Brett Kavanaugh's accusers. He says he doesn't believe a word she says. Toys R Us. Jeffrey the giraffe, who has been out of work, is about to be reemployed. Some investors are coming on board to revive the Toys R Us brand. Now, I know you don't care, but I care because I'm a Toys R Us kid. And I'm pretty excited about going back to Toys R Us. You see, I like games. I like board games and,
Action figures.
Action figures.
They're not dolls, they're action
Toy
figures.
trains. Not drunk people, but toy trains. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. I'm excited. Toys R Us. Coming back. So, make sure you watch out for telephone scammers. We've got telephone scammers that are calling to register you to vote. Okay, first of all, you have to sign your voter certificate. Or if you're unable to fill out a voting application yourself, somebody does it for you and they sign. So you have to be in person to register to vote. If somebody calls you and says, are you registered, or asks, are you registered to vote? And you say no, and they say, well, I can get you registered, or I can re-register you. You can change parties. Please understand, they don't do this over the phone. Frosty, we had another video we were going to show, and I didn't write the copy.
It was James Langford talking about
we've got,
Kavanaugh.
yes, and speaking of Brett Kavanaugh, I know we're all over the road today, because the Brett Kavanaugh vote is, I think it'll be Justice Kavanaugh before the weekend. Our own Senator James Lankford, a good friend of the show, has this commentary on Judge Kavanaugh. Let's roll.
Good morning. Good morning. Lankford has been a staunch supporter of Kavanaugh throughout this dramatic nomination and says he has some issues with the FBI investigation. Telling NPR's All Things Considered this week, Lankford said he doesn't mind an investigation. He just doesn't think it'll turn anything up. And so far, he doesn't believe Dr. Christine Blasey Ford that it was Kavanaugh who sexually assaulted her. Lankford says if the FBI finds Kavanaugh was lying to senators about the alleged sexual assault on Blasey Ford, then Kavanaugh should not be confirmed. But that's the only lie he seemed to care about. The senator says he doesn't think Kavanaugh lying about or mischaracterizing anything else to senators should stop him from reaching the high court.
That's no longer a dialogue about sexual assault. That's trying to find some way to trip up a nominee to be able to catch them on something based on some kind of history from 36 years ago. That's no longer really trying to be able to get to a judge. That's trying to be able to destroy someone personally.
We also reached out to the office of Senator Jim Inhofe to find out if he agrees with Lankford, but we didn't get a response. Both senators have signaled or said they'll be voting for Kavanaugh. Live in the newsroom, Grant Herms, News.
Love James Lankford. He's got that big voice that you wouldn't expect to come from a redheaded guy that's kind of tall and thin. But James Lankford, a great senator, a great American, and he and Senator Inhofe will both be voting yes on Judge Kavanaugh this weekend. So let's talk about the Kavanaugh circus. How do we avoid this in the future? We elect more conservatives. Now, before you liberals start to get upset, understand that conservatives voted for Sotomayor, for Kagan, for Stephen Breyer. Sotomayor and Kagan were Obama appointees. Stephen Breyer was a Clinton appointee. They also voted for Ruth Buzzard Ginsburg. None of those people were subjected to the same type of treatment or the circus atmosphere that Brett Kavanaugh and before him Clarence Thomas experienced. How do we avoid this? By putting big-time, big boys and big girls in the United States Senate. Because after all, if you act like a child, you probably shouldn't be in Washington. Not in 2018 Washington, anyway. So how do we avoid this in the future? We put people who actually have some maturity and think about country first on the United States Senate. And there are Democrats who think about America first. It's not just a Republican thing or an independent thing. There are Democrats who put America first, but this has not been one of those cases. Nor was the case against Clarence Thomas back many years ago. By this weekend, I believe Judge Kavanaugh will be Justice Kavanaugh and sitting on the bench with Justice Clarence Thomas. And Justice Clarence Thomas is going to say, hey, Brett, I feel your pain. False allegations at the 11th hour should never be taken seriously, especially when they've been held by Dianne Frankenfeinstein for the last 3 months. 4 months now. That is a dereliction of duty, and I believe that Dianne Feinstein should be censured for this. They keep talking about impeaching President Trump, but the reality is we can remove members of Congress. Yes, we can. And so the next time you have a libturd congressperson that says impeach the president who has committed no crimes, say, okay, well, how about we remove these leftist Congress people and senators who have obstructed and made a mockery of our judicial system? One more time, in case you're a new voter. The judicial branch is not an ideological branch. It is to enforce and defend the Constitution. Laws are not made by the Supreme Court or any other court. Laws are made by the Congress, signed by the president, and then if there's a question about their legitimacy or constitutionality, they go to the Supreme Court. That's what the judicial branch is about. It's not about having a bunch of ideologues on the court. It doesn't matter who the president is. I've seen Obama appointees vote the way conservatives like. I've seen Republican appointees vote the way liberals like. And that's the way it should be. You see, when you're coming down to making a decision on an important case, political ideology should be thrown out the window. It's all about the Constitution and following the rule of law. The rule of law. Judge Kavanaugh has the perfect case for a humongous lawsuit. But he's going to make it to the court anyway, so why bother? Lesson learned. When you vote on November 6th, follow, pay attention. Feinstein, bad, go away. Little Dickie Durbin, I don't know if he's up for re-election this year, but it's time for them to go. President Trump held a rally last night, and he spoke about, in fact, it was in Mississippi, he spoke about Kavanaugh and about other things, and people are criticizing him because he kind of mocked Dr. Ford. Well, I've mocked Dr. Ford too, because she was a joke. Clearly not all there. By the weekend, we'll have Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Tomorrow, we're going to have an update, and we've got a lot more. By the way, I want you to go to the OTU Facebook page. Like us, love us, want more of us. Sharing is caring. Become a Patreon. Become a patron. Go to Patreon. Click the little button there. We got to change that orange to red or something. Orange. Ugh. How about some crimson here? Anyway, click the button. Give us $1, $10, $100. We'll take it, and we'll keep spreading conservative truth around not only Oklahoma, but around the country. Also, we've got OTU t-shirts for sale. Send us your size, just inbox us, and you can get a shirt for $19.95. Also, we've got books, The Last American President, or it's actually Last American President, I believe, for $14.95. Local author, great novel, great reading. All you have to do is use the code word OTU Media. But become a patron, and we'll continue to do what we do. Thank you to Luke Harshaw for being on the show today. Thank you, Frosty, for a great broadcast, and we'll see you back tomorrow. God bless you, God bless America, God bless Oklahoma, and remember, the heart of the wise inclines to the right, the heart of the fool to the left. Ecclesiastes 10:2. We'll see you tomorrow.